Okay, in our third of 4 onboarding videos, we're going to talk about logging. So in our first video, we talked about commitment. You got to be willing to commit to what is expected of the goal or results that you want. Then you have to be consistent. Week in and week out, you just have to be able to do what is asked of you. Without that, nothing matters. But then, now we get into some finer points that ensure progress. And this next one is logging. So you're going to be using an app where you're expected to log your sets and reps and weights that you perform, or your running time, etc., depending on how your training plan is wrote. Logging guarantees progress. If you don't add in the weights you use for the amount of reps you do, etc., then week in and week out, you're kind of always just guessing. You're never being held accountable to what you did last week with the expectation that you do another rep or 5 more pounds or another set, etc. What logging also does is it allows me or any of your other coach that you might be working with to see that you're actually executing the plan. Because I will be looking, and other coaches will be looking with the people they work with, at whether or not you are actually executing the expected amount of work that we contractually agreed would get you to the result you want. And so if I sign in to my coaching portal and I see that Susie, who's expected to work out 4 days a week because her goal requires 4 days a week, has only worked out twice last week, well, she missed out on 50% of the expected work to help her achieve her goal. Now, maybe Susie did all 4 lifts, but she just didn't log that she did. Well, now me and her aren't the same page. And I'm going to be asking her, hey, what happened? Can we get those lifts in? Should we change our goal, etc.? By you logging, you put me, your coach, and you on the same page as to the ability for you to commit and consistently execute the expected workload for the result you want. It holds you accountable to yourself, because week in and week out, you see the weights you previously did. You know when it's appropriate to jump. It holds you accountable because it puts me and you on the same page, and I can then hold you accountable. Logging is paramount to someone's long-term training progress. Without logging your results, you just do not progress the same way you do as if you religiously learn to just log your weights and log your sets, log your reps, log if something hurts, etc. So then that way, when I see you in a month or whatnot, you're like, well, there was one time this exercise bugged my shoulder. No, we can just look back and see when you were like, hey, dumbbell shoulder press hurt, didn't finish all the sets today, etc.